must fight for the man, and the man keeps fighting back. Oh, we've got to go and fight harder. What is up, guys? It's Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News, the only live call-in show on something. D-Live, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. Either way, we're going to talk about how things have drastically changed in the last 24 hours. We will be right back, right after this. All right. What is up, guys? Let's get into it. If you've never been here before, this is a live call-in show. You will be able to call in at 2244-00-MARF. Marf is also down here below at 6273. Again, that's 2244-00-MARF. If you forget that, of course, it is scrolling right here along with my finger. And then, if you have an opinion about one of the stories that we cover today, or if you have a theory, then you may call in and give it. So, we are going to be covering a ton of stuff today, so get your cup of coffee, get your bathroom break in. Again, this is some wild stuff. If you've never been here before, again, you can actually watch and read along on a second device, or if you have a device that can split it, you can go to marfooglenews.com. And when you go there, look for the thumbnail of today's show, and when you end up clicking that, you will actually see the show title. It says "Nothing Can Stop This," and then when you click on that, you will come to the page where you can actually watch it live, or you can actually go down below and see all of the articles / tweets that we have covered here today. So it's a way for us to archive and back up what we say right here on the show. Now, again, down here, this will actually change by the end of this live show. It will actually have all of the caller info. If you've called in, Dex behind the scenes will be entering YouTube channels, archived photos, whatever they end up sharing with us, we will end up sharing with you. So again, this is an outlet for many people to actually bring their information to the table and share it with possibly hundreds of thousands of people. Again, over here on D-Live and where we are, there's about 6,000 followers. And then over on Marfoogle TV, there is 100,000. And then Marfoogle News is at 150,000, or just about. So again, we're on multiple platforms, so make sure to check out our other ones. There'll be instructions on how to do so later. Or you can just go to marfooglenews.com. While we're here, we're going to do a quick sound check with Dex and make sure you're here. Dex co-hosts, and he also has an entire screen to my left dedicated to what the callers are saying. If there's breaking news, we're going to cover it right here on the show. We've had some of the biggest stories this year, well, in the last year and 10 days, happen while we were live. So again, if you stay tuned, you will get filled in on all of that. Dex, are you there, and can we do a sound check real quick?
Hello, Adam. I am here, and hello, Foogle fam.
So obviously, this is some crazy stuff right now. A lot of change in the last 24 hours. Now we're saying that basically T-Man, Commander-in-Chief, has now started a revolution, apparently. Is that something that people are saying?
It certainly looks like he's positioning himself on the side of the people that are in against the current leadership in Iran. So yeah, a lot of things are happening. We keep talking about the Iran situation, and there will be a lot of news about that, and we're going to cover quite a bit. But there's also a lot of other things happening, and it's really important that we keep our eyes open on all topics. So I'm glad we're covering that tonight.
Also, I just wanted to make a quick announcement. I am having some minor health issues, and I actually had food poisoning last night. So I want to apologize. I was trying to do my best. I was actually in a ER hospital room trying to follow along with chat, and then they actually told me to put it away. So I did try to make it through the whole thing. I couldn't respond to as many people as I wanted. Of course, this is going to be premiered on YouTube. If you're watching this right now, I am in the chat with you. We are doing this because we have actually lost temporarily our ability to go live here on that platform. So obviously, we've got to try to make things work somehow. We have 84 days or something like that left of the thing, and we're trying to be as careful as possible. Again, I kind of warned against this. I knew the last day we were live, there were callers about certain subjects that I 100% we cover. We just don't say those words. If I do say words a little bit differently, it's because we actually do know what we're doing, or at least, I got lax on it. And of course, the second I did, boom, that happened. So understandably, we've also had people asking about the kind of purge that I was talking about. We did get a heads up from someone who is in the know, and the word is that there might be another purge in April. So again, a lot of people, of course, there's been people that have just basically already been taken off. So again, we're just trying to do the best we can and be commercially viable and do all this and COPPA compliant and all that at the same time. So thank you guys. We put a lot of hours into this show. Any show is anywhere from 8 to 12 hours into it, especially when I end up going in the show afterwards and basically watching myself. So thank you guys. I appreciate you following me and supporting me through these times. It's really hard because again, we kind of knew what was going to happen if I got lax on that. Some people have said, well, other people can say this and other people can say that. If you actually look closely at any of the channels that you are talking about, they are either shadow banned or they are basically, they've paid lawyers thousands of dollars to be put back on the platform. People kept using specific people saying, these people say whatever they want. They don't have any filter. Those people essentially have a humongous following and just this many views. And the reason why, it's not because their stuff is bad. It's because they are literally shadow banned, which is really messed up, in my opinion. But again, that's what we were trying to avoid in the first place. If we get hate for that, we're going to take it. We're going to take it and run with it because we have a lot of people depending not only just on the news, who cares, right? But the groups that are meeting in person, we have hundreds of people meeting all around the country. I would say thousands. I don't want to say thousands unless we actually know it. I would say at least 2,000 people that are actually involved in our in-person meetings through Discord. So if you haven't seen that, get in there. All right, so we're going to get right into the news. Without further ado, Toyota to develop a 175-acre AI city of the future. Yes, that's right. We've actually shown you the two other cities that are planned. There was also another one that is basically the self-sustainable city, and these things are just absolutely monstrous. Now it says that Toyota is to develop this huge AI city of the future. It says Toyota announced that it will break ground next year on a 175-acre hydrogen-powered, quote, prototype city of the future. If you want to talk about agendas, right? 20 plus 30 equals, holy crap, this is going to happen. It says prototype city of the future at the base of Mount Fuji. What? Where 2,000 employees, retirees, and others will live alongside the latest in smart home technology, hyper-efficient street design, AI-guided robotics, the new mobility products. So why Mount Fuji, Dex? Did you ever kind of question this?
The first thing that came to my mind is, isn't it an active and the largest mountain/volcano, an active volcano? I hope it's clear of the distance it needs to be for any activity there.
Yeah, if you see Mount Fuji, this thing is gigantic and it is apparently active. So why they would put one there is kind of confusing to me, but it's Toyota. So sounds kind of nuts to me to do that right there, but whatever, especially if it's a city of the future and you're talking a longevity. Do they know something we don't? Is that going to be some sort of safe area in the future? I don't know. I always wonder that kind of stuff because these are truly elites. They're running, they run with the circles, especially Toyota and Honda, and then Ford. The people that are at the very top, they have been part of the meetings of the builders that hang out with the Bergs. So again, weird, since especially covering the things that they did in the last meeting of Bilderberg. It says, announced by CEO Akio Toyoda during a Monday presentation at the 2020 Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, the ambitious project built on the site of a former car factory has been referred to by Toyota as the Woven City due to its integration of 3 types of transportation. So, what do you guys think about this? I'd love to hear your opinion. What do you think that they're doing with this? If you want me to see it, put it in the comment below. Right now, I'm going to be watching all of the YouTube comments, and then on DLive, put it in the chat. The community was designed by Danish architect Bjork Ingels, whose firm designed the 2 World Trade Center buildings in New York. Okay, that just got weirder, didn't it? Dex. So the community was designed by the same guy who designed the 2 World Trade Centers. It's not like there's any blatant symbology or anything there. And it says, as well as Google's Silicon Valley and London offices, according to routers. This is super weird, huh? One street would be faster for faster vehicles, so your Teslas and such, while a second street will be for lower speed personal mobility vehicles such as scooters and bikes, along with pedestrians. A third would be a park-like promenade for pedestrians only. So they're basically making like a green lake of cities right at the bottom of Mount Fuji, or Fuji, sorry. I don't drink Fiji water, I drink Fuji. What do you guys think about this? I absolutely love these kind of stories because it definitely does get your mind going. And if you've studied up on 2030 at all, they talk about the mega cities and this new sustainable thing that they're going to be doing. Again, magnitude
It's
6.
like the Jetsons without... Sorry, Adam. It's like the Jetsons without flying cars.
Yeah, without the
right?
spaceships.
Sounds like
No,
they're all
no,
gonna be on the ground.
Dex,
Yeah,
I bet you
it
they
looks,
will.
The picture looks exactly like it.
I bet you they will.
Look just like.
They'll have flying cars before long. In fact, we've covered that Dubai is actually building these flying taxis that are basically quadrocopters that can hold. They're big, huge quadrocopters that are AI driven, and they are going to take you from point A to point B in the sky. Not only that, they have robots for police. They have all this crazy stuff. Dubai is one of the leaders. I mean, obviously, when you have so much money that you literally wipe with money, that's the stuff that you design, right? And I don't think you guys understand. Like, when somebody makes that as a joke, that's one thing. But like, I think it was a couple years ago that somebody actually did it at dinner and said that they just used $100 bills for it or whatever. But not only that, the stuff that they waste money on, and it might not necessarily be a waste on taxis and things like that. They're trying to make it the future city of the world, right? But you're talking about in Dubai, there's people that literally buy a $550,000 gold-plated Samsung just to have it. It's like, that is a huge waste of money. They actually have vending machines there that you can buy gold-plated things like normal objects. It blew my mind. It's like the tourist attraction to be rich. In fact, the people, if you see in Dubai, if you see a car with a license plate that says 10 or under, so say it says 8 or 6, that's a royal family member. So they literally drive, they're in the top 10, literally, of license plates. Pretty nuts. And yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, you can't go anywhere without seeing Ferraris, Enzos, freaking Lamborghinis, and nice ones, not the little $110,000 ones. We're talking about $500,000 cars. All right, and then this, of course, more earthquakes are happening all over the world. San Juan, Puerto Rico, a magnitude 5.9 quake shook Puerto Rico on Saturday, causing millions of dollars of damage along the island's southern coast, where previous recent quakes have toppled homes and schools. This is why I've asked people to pray for Puerto Rico, of course, too. You're talking about kids that have, no choice where they are, that, we can't prevent earthquakes. And there's children, there's people there that just, already have a rough time. Some of the neighborhoods that this happened in is just absolutely horrible. So praying for them. The U.S. Geological Survey said that the 8:54 a.m. quake hit 8 miles southeast of Guanica at a shallow depth of 3 miles, or about 5 kilometers. It was followed by several aftershocks, including a magnitude 5.2 Trembler. The other one says Trembler, and now it's Trembler. I told you guys about the Mandela effect on that. Less than 2 minutes later. Everybody uses Trembler. I don't remember Trembler being used. I remember Tremor. Sorry. And what was funny is a lot of people reached out to me, sent emails, and they said, yeah, I never heard of that before like 2 years ago. Some people think that they replaced Tremor with Trembler in the Mandela effect. Sounds crazy, but yeah. Some people remember
on the dictionary.
What does it say?
On the dictionary, it says a trembler is an earthquake, where a tremor, I guess, might be something different. I mean, it's an earthquake too, but yeah, I've never heard it. It's the first time I've been seeing it. Too.
Okay, so and you've been around the block as many times as I have.
Yeah,
before
it's
this
earthquake
year,
and tremors.
It's just out of nowhere. Everybody is using it. I understand using different power words to get the point across, especially if you're in news. They try to come up with headlines and things like that to kind of grab your attention. But as far as like this word, I've never even heard about it. I've never seen it used before like this year. Maybe you guys remember and be like, oh, that's always been used. I don't remember that word. Just to show you it, does that look familiar? Like Trembler. I run the risk of just sounding completely dumb, and people are like, yeah, I remember in 3rd grade writing, yeah, we had another Trembler. Never heard of this freaking word. I feel like it's a Mandela effect kind of thing. Like some people are going to be like, nope, it always had Tremblers. Tremblers.
It's now inserted. It's now inserted in Wikipedia, so it's an earthquake. It's a quake, a tremor, or a trembler. I have never heard that word. That's crazy.
I've never either, and it's in every freaking article now. I'm going to point it out every time I see it. Sorry, it's going to get annoying. Other than that, though, in real life, please pray for the people of Puerto Rico. I mean, obviously, they can't do anything about it. If this happened to us, I would hope they would do the same for us. And again, we're watching this too. Plates are moving. Something is going on inside of Earth, and that's just obvious. Like I don't get why people say that it's bad to talk about these things. We need to be prepared. There's so many people that just need a little push to get some supplies together. And that's why you guys seriously need to look at what you have for your family. Look at your plan that you have. Doesn't matter where you are. Like the caller that we had last night that said, that she basically opened her eyes to when she watched this show, and it's because she never thought about some of these things. And it's like, you have to get prepared. You have to look at these things and actually actively, worry. I guess I shouldn't use the word worry. You should actively think, hey, where can I spend $5 this week on something that we don't have? And trust me, it will be so nice. And what it was is that she said, you talked about Cascadia Subduction Zone. I never heard of it. And then she said, I also learned that I was sitting on top of the New Madrid. So a lot of people think that they're not going to be affected by earthquakes, but then again, they see it and they're like, holy crap, I'm right on top of a huge fault. In fact, one of the biggest. So make sure it doesn't matter where you are. Be prepared for any disaster, and trust me, it will feel so good when you have those things. When your power goes off for a week, say you just have a normal snowstorm or a particularly bad one, and your whole town is actually trapped in snow, and you can't do anything. Everything's shut down because it overloaded the city. City can't do anything about it. You're sitting there for a week without food because you didn't prepare. Just have some simple things. Canned foods are really, really cheap. It's you can go to the food bank even. Like there's places you can do dollar store prep. And then again, Alaska Prepper, Magic Prepper, Equine Prepper. There's all sorts of prepper channels that are really good to check out and awesome and put a lot of effort into their videos. Pelosi to send impeachment articles to Senate trial soon. So we'll see what happens with this. We're going to follow this. It says Speaker Nancy Pelosi said that the House will take steps next week to transmit the articles of impeachment against President DT, ending the 3-week standoff, but confronting the Senate with only a third trial in U.S. history to remove a chief executive. So again, I talked about all of the people that actually thought he was no longer president after the impeachment announcement, and all of these people were just freaking out. One of the guys who's extremely high up in Antifa basically was like tweeted, and he's like, "I'm so excited that today we have, we don't have Donald anymore," and like people just tore him a new one. So dumb. Like, my opinion, and this is probably going to offend some, but if you don't know what impeachment actually means, then you probably shouldn't be high up in a group that is protesting that same person. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't know enough about politics to know that impeachment does not mean that they're pulling him out of office, then you should probably do some research about what you are actually protesting about. Just my thoughts, but whatever. Even if you hate him, you should know that that person doesn't know much and shouldn't be somebody who's basically leading others. It's like, come on. In a letter to her Democratic colleagues, Pelosi said Friday that she was proud of their courage and patriotism and warned that senators now have a choice as they consider the charges of abuse and obstruction against the president. This is a quote directly from her. It says, "In an impeachment trial, every senator takes an oath to do impartial justice according to the Constitution and laws," Pelosi wrote. "Every senator now faces a choice to be loyal to the president or to the Constitution." Big words. Big words that nobody apparently cares about anymore, right? And I say that because, man, lots of things are changing and are unconstitutional. I hope we get that back on track. And if you guys want to protect yourself against an EMP or a CME, when we talk about natural disasters, a lot of people leave this out. If you're newer to the show, EMP Shield actually has worked with DOD, the Homeland Security, and is now part of the DEMSO team, actually helping to protect the Texas grid. This is something that every home should have. In my personal opinion, I wish that this was something that was subsidized by the government. I think that if you buy a property, they should say, okay, you've got your water main, your water line, and your EMP shield. Because this is something that our entire country lacks, and we are completely open. In fact, Donald actually signed an order basically saying that we needed to harden our grid. They warned us last year in the middle of 2018. Homeland Security said that every single person should be preparing for 6 months to a year without food, without electricity, without any of this stuff. It was the EMP Resilience Report. In that report, they mentioned one name, EMP Shield, and they will actually tell you there that this is a good product. It's backed up. It's tested by Keystone. It's 100% American made, and it's owned by veterans. These people are actually a part of our community. They have actually reached out and actually helped our community members without ever even saying anything about it to us. They're literally, there to help. So again, it blocks against E1, E2, and E3. It will actually ground the signal before it fries your devices. This is something that will save lives if we have an EMP or even a CME. A CME is guaranteed. The thing is, EMP, that's up in the air, but we will have another CME in the future. If you have this on your car, if you have this on your house, if you have this on your generator, you're basically set. If your generator doesn't work, then what good is it? You could have all the gas in the world and it won't work. If you have a car but you can't drive anywhere, what good is it? And if you have a house, you can't really post up there if you've got no electricity. So again, you can go to marfooglenews.com/EMP. A commission of that goes to help the show, and it's something that we feel we're working to do. So if you guys end up purchasing the product, we're an affiliate. We end up getting a part of that, so we can keep going. So thank you guys, appreciate it, and it helps you. All right, and then we have Russia conducts a war drill with hypersonic missiles amid threat of conflict in the Middle East. So a lot of stuff is going on, but obviously they are covering up some of the stuff that they are actually doing. It says Russian President Vladimir Putin observed a war drill off the coast of Crimea out of all places, on Thursday that included the launching of hypersonic missiles. the Russian Defense Ministry said. The ministry's Zvezda broadcasting service said Russia's Black Sea and Northern fleets participated in the military exercise. The various missiles were fired during the drill, including the Caliber cruise missiles and Kinzhal hypersonic air-launched missiles. More than 30 warships, including the Admiral Gregurovich and the Admiral Makarov frigate, one submarine, and more than 40 aircraft, including Tu-95MS strategic bombers and Su-30 SM fighters and Su-24M bombers. So this was a huge drill. Now, Dex, do you think the timing on this is a little right on the money?
Well, certainly, it's a good time to beat your chest when your adversary is starting things up, or appears to be starting things up with your ally. So certainly, the timing is right.
And then we're going to kind of get into what is going on there, and some things changed over the last couple days that just absolutely kind of like what, scratching your head type things. So we'll get into that here in a second. You're going to see. And then it says Putin warns full-scale war in Mideast could be catastrophe. So again, this isn't just. The thing is, I don't get why they say that this is just mainstream trying to push the propaganda. I get that. It is. But at the same time, our people around the world, the people that watch us, they see from outside the United States, outside the kind of funnel that we live in, our information is funneled through the different information sites. Again, the people that are watching our show, they don't have that exact same funnel. Everybody is giving us little pieces of the puzzle. There are things going on. They are preparing. If anybody has just the tiniest bit of wit, they would know, obviously, they're doing contingencies right now. So if this happens, we need to drive this. We have seen the drills. We just did our huge drill. Of course, Russia just drilled with Iran and China and all of that. Then they just did another drill by themselves. Everybody is getting ready for an actual conflict. Why are they doing it? It's not all to puff on their chest. That's my opinion. Dex and even Dex and I have gotten in little kind of tiffs about this, and we're not exactly on the same page, and that's great. None of us should be on the same page. We should all be asking questions, and we should all be telling each other what we think, and then listening to the other side. That's how we get somewhere further. If everybody just said, "I believe this, and that's the only truth," we would get nowhere. We would literally go backwards. So again, let me know what you think. Give us a call at 2244-00-6273. That's again 2244-00-MARF. And then it says Russian President Vladimir Putin warned of a full-scale conflict in the broader Middle East would be a global catastrophe and said he hopes it won't happen. Says conflict is already going on there. It is low intensity, but it is conflict. Putin said at a news conference in Moscow after talks with German Chancellor Angela Merkel on Saturday. It says people get killed. It's a fact. Putin was responding to a question about U.S.-Iranian tensions after the targeted killing of General Soleimani in Iraq and the downing of a Ukrainian passenger jet near Tehran by a missile that Iran said was fired in air. Yes, that's right. They said it was fired in air. If they mean error, I think they meant in air, as in the air. The plane was in the air. I think that was a miscommunication, maybe a bad translator, because that was not a mistake. Just in my opinion, just saying. It says, we would like to avoid major military actions, he said. If this happens, it would be a catastrophe, not only for the Middle East region, but for the whole world. Yeah, it would. He said reducing tension in the region was among the topics he and Merkel discussed.
It's clear, Adam, that he is saying that if things go forward, that he's going to have major military actions, right? Because the word we means he's inclusive. And he's speaking for somebody.
And you mean he's speaking for him, China, whoever else, the whole group of
his allies.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, obviously there's not much we can do to stop it. So some people say like, well, why should we talk about it then? We should always be knowing what the heck is going on. People have turned this into a taboo subject. They say that there's like what is it? 3 things. You're not supposed to talk about politics, religion, or whatever at the bar, right? Now people go by that all the time. I think a lot of people are afraid to talk about politics with anybody that they don't know 100%, because so many people are easily offended nowadays that you can't talk about it. You can't talk to your neighbor, go out to the mailbox and go, hey, who'd you vote for? You could be squabbling and end up on the internet by the end of the day. Be like, oh, 80-year-old squabbles with 40-year-old woman over President T-Man. It's like, people are so pissed off at what is going on right now in this country. We could have a revolution. That is a lot of people's thoughts. I mean, this is what is going through people's heads. People are thinking, militias are getting ready for a civil conflict. That's how serious this is getting. And most people are seeing mainstream. They're also seeing, what is coming down the pipeline. They see their TV shows continue as normal. Everything is gone. They keep making freaking Marvel movies. Everybody's good. But in a second, that could change. Just imagine that. Like, the thing is we here in America, and even if in other countries, I understand that we are a lot like some of our allies. As long as they keep pumping out entertainment for us, and we have our devices and our cell phones and our internet, imagine in a second everything would turn. The celebrities in the Hollywood Hills, they would be freaking gated in their house with guns and security, everything. If all of this went down, the entire United States would change. Hell, I mean, like, literally, there are a ton of celebrities. We know, I've had celebrities that watch this show, and they literally say, that there's people in the Hollywood Hills are now, the purchases of helicopters are going way up, because in the event of a disaster, and we're talking about liberal and Republican folks all alike, in Hollywood, helicopter sales have skyrocketed. This is personal helicopters, the permits, everything to do it, so they can have a helicopter and take off when everything hits the fan or a super bad earthquake happens. So, like, there's a lot of people that are normally not prepping that are now, especially elites, especially celebrities, and they're not just doing it because, President T-Man was elected. As you know, a lot of them said, we're going to move to Canada if he gets elected. Well, none of them did they? Yeah, because, So, again, that is something that I would love to put on a paper and actually show the numbers of bunkers and things that are going up in that survival and the level of people that are doing it. So people are getting prepared, countries are getting prepared, but the normie is asleep as far as they think that, conflict will never happen. They think there will be no WW3. I disagree with some of my peers on these platforms because I know it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. Is it going to happen in 2 days? No. I don't think anybody can predict this, but we can see the signs. And a lot of them are there. So, with that being said, if you should join in our Discord, we have people meeting people. This is a free service. It is a really cool place to go. If you go to marfooglenews.com, you can actually go and sign up for Discord and alerts. Alerts, we actually send out very sparingly. When we do send it out, it's information that we know is correct. And again, if something was to hit the fan, we'll send it out through via alerts. Now, on the Creators Corner and the Discord and meeting up in person, there's a group for every state. All 50 states have it. And then, of course, we have even other countries that have asked for us to add them. I believe we added Belgium, I think. There's several, states that are outside of the U.S. that we have actually opened up group. Somebody from Malta just asked to open up a group. We said, if you want to start a group, we'll start it. People are meeting weekly, bi-weekly, or even monthly to talk about prep, to get to know each other, to go back to old school. If everything went down today, we would get back to tribal. Now, people think this is crazy. It's not. We're just being logical people preparing and contingency. It's the same thing military does. Military are actually practicing right now for every single scenario. Why are we any different? Well, I'll tell you. Because it's an inconvenience and we don't have time to do it, and we're normally working 9 to 5s and grinding till the next paycheck. That's why. I was in the same position. You don't have time to do it. Otherwise, why would you not? Why would you not spend 15, 20 minutes a week saying, hey, let's write up a plan just in case this happens? The next week, write up a different plan. The next week, write up another scenario, another plan. Military, know that something is going to happen on the West Coast. That's guaranteed. New Madrid, any of these other things that could go off, if you have a plan, you will be way, way better off. You could survive in a situation where you normally wouldn't. Join Discord, marfooglenews.com, and sign up for Marfoogle alerts. And then, of course, we've got filers or flyers recruiting this, and I don't even want to say this anywhere. I don't want to be put on a list for jihad against U.S. distributed in Iran. Now, can you explain this, Dex? Go over this real quick.
Yeah, certainly, Adam. So apparently the students at Iranian Islamic Azad University are being offered, a lot of things in a novel new career choice that is the word we don't want to say. So they're actually distributing these leaflets around at the influential school, urging students to sign up for the jihad missions against the U.S. and as well as against Israel, for that matter. So yeah, we're hearing a lot of stories come out of Iran, especially since all eyes are on it. We've got this message that there's a bunch of T groups there. We've got this message that there's a revolution there. We've got this message that there's the government itself is really bad to the people, and the government itself is really bad towards us, and they are sponsoring the T groups. So there's a lot of different messages coming out of Iran, and I guess we don't, I would hope that we would all use appropriate judgment when we look and say, okay, let's not label the entire country with any one of these things. But seeing these things happen is really important, right? I mean, there are people there that do live, and they probably don't necessarily believe this way. There's probably plenty of them that don't. Probably the vast majority of people just want to live their lives that are in Iran. But yeah, seeing this type of activity is pretty scary.
Especially when you have all of the things that we've been covering over the last year. You're talking about the pilots that were being trained for us and went AWOL. I mean, you're talking about people from the same group of countries coming over, learning how to fly, and then going AWOL and not even being accounted for. Literally, our government says, yeah, these guys just kind of learned how to fly and left. There's things like that happening all the time, and there's multiple programs across the entire country that are doing things just like this. We know that at September 2001, a very horrible event happened, and that one, we actually were, I mean, even no matter how you cut it, even if you look at it straight up how they said it in the report, there were some things there that I don't think a lot of people agreed with, especially where money came from in certain places, where these guys learned how to fly, these kind of things. So, lots of stuff going on right now that's obviously pretty crazy. Thank you, Dex. I appreciate it. And then we've got Iranian protesters demand Khomeini quits over plane downing. So this is what we were talking about. Just a couple days ago, they were saying that people were saying, death to America. And then all of a sudden, you've got them saying, death to the liars. This is what they're saying. And they're talking about this. It says, U.S. President DT has tweeted his support to the people of Iran. Says, I've stood with you since the beginning of my presidency. It says hundreds of Iranian protesters demanded Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei step down on Saturday after Tehran admitted that its military had mistakenly shot down a Ukrainian plane, killing all 176 people on board. It says Commander-in-Chief Khamenei resign. Videos posted on Twitter showed hundreds of people chanting in front of Tehran's Amir Kabir University. It says, breaking, people in Iran have just begun to protest against the regime. Students of Amir Kabir University in Tehran chant slogans against the supreme leader. That was, of course, from Alireza Azami. It says, this is the first protest since the assassination of IRGC Quds Force Commander Soleimani last November. Hundreds were reportedly killed in protests in multiple cities across the republic. Now, I don't know if you remember, but in several places, protesters in some of these countries were getting sniped out. Literally. You're talking about, they hired snipers in other places as well, including Saudi Arabia. So there's some pretty insane stuff that goes on in other parts of the world. Could you imagine that if you went to the White House, stood across the street, and you're protesting, and then drop dead.
I mean, people would just, people would go running in a stampede, which, by the way, they did recently in Iran, and many people got killed. But here's one other thing to think about. Like when we see a big protest, we went to Hong Kong, right? And we saw a protest. It was hundreds and hundreds of thousands, maybe even a million, right? It was a lot of people. And we actually saw at the funeral, and when the stampedes I was just talking about in Iran, they said 1 million people turned out. And now here we have a protest against them, but it's only hundreds. It's a smaller number. So we got to take all this with a grain of salt. Like, is it a really big deal? Is it the media making it up? Is the media, not getting the right information because they can't get good information out of the country? I don't know. But we do need to, basically look at this from all angles and make sure that, we don't just stereotype the entire country in one direction.
And you know what, too? I mean, this is literally coming from this and saying a lot of people are saying that T-Man started a revolution over there, that all of a sudden it's totally backwards now. They're not chanting that. They're actually chanting, get him out of office because of the Ukrainian plane. There's multiple ways you could look at this. Again, millions of people out the other day, hundreds under their quote. They can't just like straight up say 1 million people showed up and then people are like, no, we have video from that day. It was like maybe 200. We don't know how many people exactly, but again, this is what people are kind of pushing the story towards. And I'm not trying to say anything bad about the prez here. I'm just saying that we don't know exactly how this looks like. So we're going to follow it. Again, this is the tweet: to the brave, long-suffering people of Iran. I've stood with you since the beginning of my presidency, and my administration will continue to stand with you. We are following your protests closely and are inspired by your courage. And then it says, the second tweet says, the government of Iran must allow human rights groups to monitor and report facts from the ground on the ongoing protests by the Iranian people. There can be not another massacre of peaceful protesters, nor an internet shutdown. The world is watching. So break that apart, Dex. Nor an internet shutdown. Because
we keep seeing that. They've done it numerous times. They shut it down. They don't let any information. It's 101 for a controlling regime style country to do that, right? We've seen it. We've even seen it in India. I mean, they shut the internet down when they've got a problem and they don't want people to know about it.
That's so nuts. I mean, like that is beyond what. We've got it bad and it's getting worse here, but man, other places will literally shut that down. Here, I think that even like YouTube, we believe that they have actually shut down and actually logged off for a few hours the entire network. We had that last year where it was really weird. There was a video going viral. Everybody was sharing it. It was everywhere, of the gentleman saying that we knew something about the moon. And by the way, if any of you have been with me since then, I'm still kind of freaked out about that. So supposedly the guy was saying that, and the guy was wearing military fatigues or whatever, and saying he was in a kind of a darker kind of basement-y room, and saying that they knew that the moon was going to get hit by something, not the Earth, that the moon was going to be hit by an asteroid. Do you guys remember this? This is last year, right before the freaking all of YouTube shut down. I know you guys remember this. And then 20, 30 people made a video after my video, and everybody was talking about it. And then he was sweating, just really freaked out about this thing. And then boom, it had about 350,000 views in just a few minutes. And then boom, it was gone. All of YouTube gets scrubbed. The same thing happened. Do you remember when HOGG, Mr. David, after that one event, after Hog, all these people got knocked off, including me. That's why I started Marfoogle TV. I started Marfoogle TV because news got a strike because I said I am on the wagon. And it started with an F. And false. It was really crazy. So again, with that, it's like they scrub our stuff. Over there, they'll shut down the entire internet. There's a lot of stuff going on, which, by the way, I want to get back to that moon thing. I really do think that people should touch on that now. Think about it now. Back then, we were like, whoa, that's crazy. Now, Who's going to the moon and setting up a base with an actual laser that's supposed to deter an asteroid? Does it not make sense? China went to the far side of the moon. Russia's going to set up a base on the moon to deter asteroids. I think that was a real thing, and it got wiped. I could get wiped for even saying it. Anyways, if you know what I'm talking about, then it's pretty nuts. All right, and then if you guys would like to support us and help yourself health-wise, if you've never done earthing, it is something you can do for absolutely free. Go stand out on your yard barefoot. It sounds like you're like, what? No, what are you talking about? If you've ever done it or know anything about it, it is actually, they have 25 plus medical studies that prove that when us humans are grounded to the earth, it actually makes everything in our body flow. It reduces inflammation. Again, you can of course stand outside all day, but not all of us have the ability to just stand outside barefoot. If you want to do this at night, that's what I do. I actually get the bed mat and I put it on my bed. It is awesome. I sleep better. I wake up better. My stomach stuff has gotten better. It's just amazing. So again, go to marfooglenews.com/earthing. You can actually watch the full movie about this and about this kind of movement it's been around for a long time. There's tons of Foogle family members that have been doing this for years and years, and they swear by it. They live by it. Again, Amy Smart, Muriel Hemingway, Deepak Chopra. There's tons of celebrities that are in the video that do it, but really the main point is this does work, and when you actually do it, you'll tell 10 other people, and it helps the channel. So appreciate it. Go check it out at marfooglenews.com/earthing. All right, and then of course, I'd like to see them call me how T-Man used an encrypted Swiss fax machine to defuse the Iran crisis. Dex, do you want to cover this one?
Yeah, sure. So apparently there's not a hotline really during the time for a secure hotline for the president to talk to Tehran. So when this was actually going down, it's been reported now, I guess Wall Street Journal and others, that he used a link that he had through Switzerland because they had a back channel, and there was basically an encrypted fax messaging going back and forth between the president and the Ayatollah Khomeini in Tehran, going through Switzerland. So it's an interesting story. You should go read it if you want to know more about like what presumably went on. Some of us have speculated that there was a backdoor deal, and it was like, yeah, we'll go underground, lob a few over, and you can save face. Or others are saying, no, they're really going to keep coming at us, and they're not standing down. So, we will never know the true story. We'll watch it evolve over time, but here is the back channel story supposedly as being reported. So pretty interesting story.
Take
a look.
And this is mainstream, and it's actually independent. It originally came out through an independent, which is, I think, really crazy. And now everybody is actually jumping on it because they're confirming it. Trump sent a fax through Switzerland through to Tehran, says, don't escalate. And then they opened up some sort of communication. So I think that this was worse than we thought it was. And again, when you see what happens, the American thoughts is like, oh, of course it's fixed. I think subconsciously a lot of us just think, yeah, they'll handle it. They'll fix it and nothing will ever happen. But then again, one of these days, we'll just see that bright flash, man. That's just my thoughts. If you guys want to call in, let me know what you think. Tell me I'm wrong. Give me a call at 2244-00-MARF. Again, that's 2244-00-6273. And we're about to be at the calls here in just a second. We're going to cover the most important stories here in just a sec. Make sure to give us a call now. We have 2 lines open. White House considers expanding travel ban to more countries. So talking about cutting them out even more. It says the White House is considering dramatically expanding the much litigated travel ban to additional countries amid a renewed election year focus on immigration by President DT, according to 6 people familiar with deliberations. I like how they say, according to 6 people. They're like, yeah, Dan, Steve, Bill, Susan, Jen, and Susan. 2 Susans, apparently. It says a document outlining the plan's time to coincide with the 3rd anniversary of Trump's January 2017 executive order has been circulating the White House. But the countries that would be affected if it moves forward are blacked out. It says, according to 2 of the people who spoke to the Associated Press on condition of anonymity because of the measures are yet to be finalized. It's unclear how many countries would be included of the expansion if it proceeds, but 2 of the people said that 7 countries, a majority of them Muslim, would be added to the list. Pretty crazy. This is a big move. It says the most recent iteration of the ban includes restrictions on 5 majority Muslim nations: Iran, Libya, Somalia, Syria, and Yemen, as well as Venezuela and North Korea. This is some crazy stuff. This sounds like, I'm sorry, but Dex, do you see the countries that are on that list?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I'm just wondering what the other ones are.
And this isn't finalized.
These are the recent iterations. No, it's not final, and they've been blacked out. But it sounds like we'll probably have really harsher restrictions.
But not only that, don't you think it sounds like they're preparing to not have any loose ends, like with any of the countries that we're about to kind of go head to head with?
Yeah, and I think that on that short list is any country that currently has proxies with Iran that isn't already on the list. If you didn't make the list the first round and you have deals with Iran, then you're probably going to be on that next list that comes out.
That's pretty crazy. A lot of things are going down all the time. And then Dex, you're our tech guy. Can you explain the notifications real quick? Because somebody said that you would be probably better at this one.
Yeah, no problem, Adam. So look, we've got notifications. If you're having a hard time getting notifications, like you miss them from YouTube, or you miss them here on DLive, it's real easy. Go to our website, and when you get there, it should automatically prompt you and ask if you want to get notifications. And just hit the yes button on that, and you'll have them. If you miss it, look down on the bottom right. There's a little bell, red bell, and that bell will allow you to click and add notifications. And we send those notifications out from the website through your browser, right to your phone or to your computer, every time we go live, every time we do something big. So,
is there any downside to it? Is there any downside to it?
No, you can go sign up for those notifications, and if you don't like them, you can turn them off. It's real simple. It's standard browser technology. The only downside is if you have an iPhone and iOS, we don't have that technology just yet. It's coming soon. But everything else is covered. Your computer, your Android phones, Chrome works really well. So just go try it. It's a great way to get our notifications. Never miss a minute.
Because we get so many people say they were notified after the show. They weren't notified at all. Of course, the platform that we're on is pretty good about it. The platform we're premiering on, yes, not so good. So again, they'll tell you like next Tuesday, be like, yeah, this happened. There was war with Iran, and now it's over. It's okay. You find out later. I don't know why. Apparently, YouTube has Swiss accent.
Adam, I think the biggest problem with that platform with the Swiss accent is that a lot of people get unsubscribed and they don't know it, right? We hear that, and that's when they lose their notifications. And that platform is notorious for unsubscribing people if they think you don't need to be subscribed to that channel anymore. And by the way, that's another great thing. It's real simple. If you want to check your subscriptions, just go to our website. There's 2 buttons right in the middle of the site right now. You can click to TV and you can click to news, and it will make sure you're subscribed. So if you've lost your subscription, boom, it'll check it for you.
So just want to use an example here. I just want to show you guys. This is really simple. You can take 2 seconds and do this with all your favorites. I don't want to play don't show that. So right here at the top of the screen, right, there's this. So I'll just sacrifice myself to this Cyndi Lauper thing. Okay, the bell. Click. All. This is how easy it is. When you hit all, it's going to help. It's not going to guarantee. But the fact is, most people don't even realize that there's none because they are unsubscribed completely. And it's because they're trying, they say that they're essentially trying to keep it fair for advertisers. So if you don't watch my show in a month or whatever, I can understand that, right? I can't understand, period, that they unsub people, but they're trying to clear out fake people, the fake accounts. And there really are those. Those exist. People pay fake accounts or whatever. So I would much rather, in fact, in my mind, I would rather have people that are attentive and watching my show rather than people that aren't watching, because it screws up your engagement numbers, the percentage of people that are actually watching. So like if I've got 100,000 people, but only 10,000 are watching, it looks at it and it goes, only 10% are watching. You must not be that good. And then you don't grow bigger. So again, that subscriber count, you shouldn't be worried about that subscriber count. You should be worried more about, the people that are watching are there and they're active and they're thumbsing up. See, this is, your like to dislike. Again, while we're on the subject, if you guys can, this show takes us literal hours a day. If you do like the show and you want to see us grow and you want new family members to come in here, all you have to do is a little swipe of you don't even have to do that. You have to go like this with your finger. And like if it's a 6-inch phone, like you might have to reach an extra inch. Whoof. Like button. Whoof. Like button. And it makes that a sound effect. Watch. Try it at home right now. Whoof. 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 Told you. It did it, didn't it? Even when I wasn't doing it. That's what I call like. Ow. Anyways, I'm done. That was awkward. Firefox attacks. This is exactly what we're talking about. Firefox attacks. Homeland Security urges all users to update browsers immediately in rare warning. All of these cyber attacks that are happening are now getting bigger, worse, and all crazy. We showed you that we actually showed you the behind the scenes report that the Department of Energy was getting all of these hacks. The cities are getting hacked. And now Firefox. It says Firefox versions of the desktop older than the just patched version contain a critical vulnerability that could allow an attacker to take control of a user's entire operating system, whether they use Windows or Mac. So it doesn't matter if you're using a PC or an Apple that never gets a virus, you can actually get your whole system taken over. It says, more alarming, the vulnerability is already being exploited in the wild. Thus, Homeland Security is stepping in with an urgent plea for users to upgrade. It says Mozilla has released security updates to address a vulnerability in Firefox and Firefox ESR, and an attacker could exploit this vulnerability to take control of affected system. Dex, can you explain kind of what went on here?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is if you're running Firefox, you go update it, get the latest version so that you get this hole patched. Obviously, people are exploiting this hole in Firefox to gain control of your computer. It sounds really urgent. We hear it coming from Homeland Security. It's obviously being affected by a lot of people, and I almost think that maybe this is part of the vulnerability that we're seeing with a lot of the ransomware attacks. That maybe this is the hole that a lot of people are exploiting to get in and take over. I was talking to a friend the other day from a major company. I don't want to name the company's name, CEO. They had a huge ransomware attack. All their systems were shut down. $6 million they were told to pay and to get their stuff back. And they said no, and they weren't going to pay it. And guess what? All their stuff was wiped out, everything. And they had to start over.
Holy
Big deal.
crap, Dex. And by the way, these ransomware attacks that we've seen are on major cities and in sanitation and in police. In the sheriff's department got hacked, and they actually went in and hacked the part that does background checks. We're telling you, they're inserting people. This is nuts. This is not just some little outfit. This is something big. And what they're saying is this. As oh, well, they'll just take over, Granny Jan's computer. No. Through that same Firefox, they could take over, Jonathan Stevens, the CEO of a company, or Jonathan Stevens, the sheriff's deputy, or Jonathan Stevens, the freaking politician. there's people that have extremely high clearance that have their own personal computer, and then they have their passwords stored on like LastPass or one of these things, and then of course then they get their computer. These guys have full control of their computer through this. So again, it says Mozilla has released security updates to address a vulnerability in Firefox. What I think though is that this could have already been used. This is a bigger group doing this, I believe. This could have already been used to do what they needed to do. So this is just the aftermath. It says the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, or CISA, which I've never heard of, encourages users and administrators to review the Mozilla Security Advisory for Firefox. Now you might think this is just a stupid hack. There's some serious things going on cyber-wise. You know that literally our entire infrastructure is run off of computers, internet, and Ethernet now. I mean, like, this is something that could very well put us in the dark ages. So not this one in particular, but again, with the internet and how important the Internet of Things is now, we're in a big spot right here, and we're in a very vulnerable spot. That's why there's orders being signed in by the president to get this stuff all hardened, not only the electric grid, but, look, Russia separating their internet, China separated their internet. Our enemies they're doing tests, shutting down and seeing how they could work without internet. Why are they doing that? Because quite possibly, something could happen that they're just totally wiped out. We could wipe them out, and then they would have their guys wipe us out. Then both of us are sitting trying to thumb text, and nothing's happening. So, just a thing there. I would definitely keep your eye on that. It's a bigger deal than people think. Now it says DOJ says that neo-Nazi group used swatting to target official, journalists, and churches. Federal officials said a Virginia man arrested Friday is linked to a string of fake bomb threats and swatting attacks on journalists and government officials and others as part of an international group sympathetic to neo-Nazi ideology. John William Kirby Kelly. Wow, really? John William Kirby Kelly had his first appearance in federal court in Alexandria on Friday. His public defender did not comment on the allegations, but said that his client has very limited funds. The charge against Kelly of conspiracy to make threats carries up to 5 years in prison. Members of the group, which is unnamed, all appeared to share views that were racist. According to an affidavit from an FBI agent, quote, with particular disdain for African Americans and the Jewish people. They expressed affinity with the Atomwaffen division. The Atomwaffen? God, these guys are a bunch of... Yeah, I can't stand that. Sorry. The group of people that... I mean, literally, they're just literally that way just because of the color of our skin. Never got it. I'm actually part of a group that had to learn about racism. In fact, I had to learn about it in school, in a textbook. That's how I learned about it. I just didn't see it. But I also grew up in an area that was almost all black, so I didn't even see it. I didn't understand it. But again, the people that grew up in times before, I get it. The kids now, it's almost like we're keeping it going by even separating us, talking about it of colors. I think it shouldn't even, we should just talk about people like they're people. That person did this. Either way, Ukraine demands punishment for Iran plane downing. Ukraine on Saturday demanded that Iran punish those guilty for the downing of a Ukrainian airliner and compensate victims while praising Tehran for cooperating with an objective investigation. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky was due to discuss the incident with his Iranian counterpart, President Hassan Rouhani, at 5 p.m. local time. It says, quote, we expect Iran to bring the guilty to the courts. The Ukrainian leader wrote on Facebook, calling also for the payment of compensation and the return of remains. So, of course, they had a lot of people on that plane. It says Tehran admitted Saturday that it accidentally downed the Ukrainian International Airlines plane, killing all 176 people on board on Wednesday, shortly after launching missiles at bases hosting U.S. forces in Iraq. Rouhani said Tehran deeply regrets this disastrous mistake. Tehran was invited to the United States, Ukraine, Canada, and others to join the crash investigation. Kiev said that Iran had cooperated with its experts and expects an objective probe. What do you think happened here behind the scenes, Dex? There's got to be something like, why would they, why that plane out of any plane? I don't even get, why they took that one down.
There's something about that plane in my mind, just because the fact that it's Ukraine. Ukraine is allied with us against Russia. Russia is allied with Iran. It just seems a little weird that plane went down, right? Now, I don't know the details of everybody that's on there. I don't know if we're going to find out if anybody that was important was on there, or if it just truly was
an accident.
Yeah.
I just don't. Yeah. I don't see it.
Because there's hundreds of people on that plane that are no longer here with us because of that accident, if that's what they want to call it. But their lives were sacrificed for something.
I hope so. I mean, that's an incredible loss of life.
It is. It absolutely is.
And Dex, while you're on the subject, we're at the point where we need a techie again. So if you could explain Nord for everybody.
Absolutely. So NordVPN, a VPN is a virtual private network. And by virtual, it basically takes you and puts you in another location. So when the bad guys try to infiltrate you, they don't actually find out where you live. They don't really get to your home. Or if they're trying to snoop on your lines, they don't actually see everything you're doing because it's all secured. If you don't have a VPN, you need to have a VPN. I've been using them for years. I've been using Nord for years. I've been using VPNs forever. But you need one. You should have one. They're very simple to use. Don't let something like this, because it seems very techy or geeky, be a wall or a barrier for you to actually secure your computer and secure your connectivity. It's not just your computer. It's also your phone. We got a lot of folks with Android phones that have been hacked and having problems. I guess it can happen on iPhones too. I use the VPN on my iPhone all the time, and it's great because I know that I'm always secure and nobody's going to be getting to my information. So go check it out, marfooglenews.com/VPN. You get special discounts for the Foogle fan members. You also get access to, with your one account, you can work on up to 6 different devices, and you can even circumvent copyright protections in different countries. If you can't get to something because you're locked out in the country you're in, well, then use a VPN and log in from a different country, and then you can get to that content. So
thank you, Dax. And you're forgetting one thing too, is if you buy things online, if you've ever bought from Amazon, which almost everyone does, you could be at risk of getting hit. And then again, 6 different devices means all your phones, your tablets, whatever you may use or your kids may use. If your kid uses the same device, if you let your kid use your phone to watch YouTube, they could end up getting into something or whatever. You're talking about they could actually accidentally click on a link or a pop-up, and then all of a sudden they have your information, your credit card stuff, all of it. If you've ordered from Amazon or any of these different services, you've most likely put your credit card out there somewhere in the world. So again, this is a super awesome thing. Also, it helps the channel. So if you're going to get it anyways, get it through us and it will help our channel, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. In fact, you get a savings with us. So again, marfooglenews.com/VPN. Thank you, Dex. Appreciate it. And then nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of Marfoogle, myself, and then Dex James, my co-host, or my mods. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. So especially if somebody tells you that you should build up Legos as a chair and sit on it on the edge of a building, you should probably talk to an expert about that. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. All right, now let's get the phones opened up. I'm going to do a couple little things right here. I want to say thank you to quite a few people. Man, Mimi, by the way, guys, I'm sorry. I was absolutely horrid last night. Tonight, I'm going to be in the chat. I'm going to be there the whole time. I ended up just sitting in there forever, and it sucked. I was in the ER last night, if you guys didn't know, and they said it was food poisoning. It was rough. I won't go into the details, but May, thank you. Says, God bless you, Adam, Dex, Mods, and Foogle fam. Continued prayers for all of us, our families, and our military. Love, May. May, you will definitely have a special song tonight in the shoutro. And of course, you are all over this ticker. So thank you guys so much for supporting us. Jimmy Meeks, I haven't seen your name in a minute, and I just wanted to say thank you. And it was really cool of you to support like that, and says thanks for all you do. I appreciate you, Jimmy. Seriously. And then Susan Donahue, you have been one of my biggest supporters, and I just thank you. And I just want you to know that, you don't have to, but thank you. Like, seriously. She always puts get prepped up, get prayed up, put on the full armor of God, and always helps support. So thank you. You are definitely just absolutely a godsend to us, and thank you. Really appreciate it. We do a lot of work in this show, and it's really awesome to see people actually, know that. And then Oscar Gonzalez, thank you. Says, can you use Gangstar Above the Clouds at Shoutro? I will try. I don't know if that will be something we can use. And then George Veenstra from Europe, thank you. I appreciate that. You could have wrote a message there. And then Paul Crane, boom, smash the like, guys. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. That is actually really cool. And then let's see here. So we have a whole night. Like, one of these nights, in fact, pretty soon here. I want to thank you guys. We did end up opening up a PayPal. I've always been against it for 2 years. I've never said that I would never do it, but I pretty much said that I didn't ever want to. Again, this whole time, I've never had a PayPal. We did open one, and a bunch of people sent love. Obviously, we are going through a rough patch right now, which it's like God has always came through for myself, for Dex, for everybody in this family. So thank you. We really appreciate it. Laura M, Rebecca W, Richard K, Patricia S, Christine R, Corrine D, Rosalie S, Allison W, Sheila B, Jessica B, Michelle C, Amy A, Lori F, Paige H, Winfred M, Michael L, Dolly's G, Max Bites, Roberta J, Priscilla R, Gail A, Carolyn W, Rosemary B, Malin C, Jacqueline S, Barbara S, Cassandra C, Judy B, Ralph E, Jules J, Anthony S, Troy O, Catherine M, Bonnie B, Karen E, Flo G, Robert M, Andrew C. I also want to say there's a little chunk of other folks here. I want to say, I really appreciate you, Mark S. Your what you sent was really sweet, and as far as I just want to say you're just an awesome guy. Very funny message, appreciated it. And then, yes, so there's a whole nother list of names that I want to go over from previous times. Just can't say enough thank you, guys. Just honestly have not... I just really find it hard to believe that I started this thing, and I'm just absolutely amazed at the people that have come through for us when we have gone through the crappiest crap. So thank you guys for supporting us through everything. All right, and then you guys will all, and we're going to do a whole other shoutro stuff, which, by the way, I do out of respect, and I wanted to make sure that, the shoutro is really a credits for you guys, because you guys are what makes this show great. Okay, let's Dex, let's get the calls here. And again, if you are watching YouTube and you do end up doing a super chat, I can't say anything about it. So that's why I do it on the next show. So I will make sure that everybody from last night is in the shoutro tonight. And for those of you that go a little extra, we end up doing a whole song for. So thank you. All right. And let's see here. It's what I can do. All right. Let's get the phones going, Dex. Boom. And it looks like we have Roy up first. Roy, you are live on Marfoogle TV. Thank you so much.
Hey, brother man. Good to talk to you again, sir. And I am also here with my son, Roy Jr., who I affectionately call Boo.
Well, Roy and Roy Jr., you guys haven't called in ever before together. I know you guys have called separate, and you guys sound alike. So cool to have you both. So what did you want to talk about tonight, Roy?
Well, I want to talk about the DoD Army document FM 3-39.40, the internment and resettlement operations for the Army. And there's a story that goes behind this. My son, Samuel, who is my second oldest, he was in a sniper, what do they call that, reconnaissance platoon over in Afghanistan. And I had heard about this document, so when he called me, just to check in, because we were obviously worried about him, and I said, can you look this up on the Army servers and actually pull it off the servers? Well, you had to be a captain or higher, and he had a buddy that, after 6 months of sitting on the front lines up on a mountain with, agreed to download it. And he's like, Sam, this is pretty random. Why would you want this? And he said, because it actually talks about U.S. citizens, and it does use the term re-education camp. So I just want to go over a few high points of this.
So are we not supposed to have this, though?
Well, it's been leaked now, but you actually had to have a top secret back then to get it. And my son only had a secret clearance. So he had to have this officer pull it off the Army server for him. And I can actually give you guys a copy of the one that came off the Army server. So the document is, go ahead.
No, go ahead. So can you,
okay.
Is there a page that
Yeah, let me give you just a quick rundown. It's 325 pages long. It's signed by Joyce Morrow, admin assistant to the Secretary of the Army. Now, page 38 clearly states this is for U.S. citizens, and page 146 talks about identification by Social Security numbers, fingerprints, and photos. The document it has three main components: the DoD, FEMA, and United Nations. And it talks about, like on page 56 and 281, the psychological operations, how they're supposed to identify the dissidents and, the patriots and things like that. And page 238 talks about using deadly force on escape attempts. I'm sorry, that's 238. 244 calls for snipers to scan the crowd and terminate agitators. 260 talks about, this is the section that has the interrogation tribunals and mortuary facilities in it. There's multiple barbed wires, 24 guard towers. So it's clearly not for just, and it states it's a re-education camp. So it's not just like they say, a friendly place to go and get something to eat. This is serious. And since this document came out in 2010 under the Obama administration, and since then the Army has been advertising for internment and resettlement operators, and it predates the NDAA of 2012, which is, you can be arrested and held without charge or without trial indefinitely. Have you ever heard of this before?
Well, so I've never seen this actual document. No. I've basically heard exactly what you're saying, but just never had documentation to it.
Yeah. So, and the copy I have,
it says that destroy.
Right off the Army servers.
I just really
Hello?
I just really want to say this is kind of scary.
It is. It has been leaked out on the internet, so
that doesn't mean it's.
I gave.
But yeah, it says.
Right. Yeah.
Says something.
No, this is an actual. But this is the place where our country has actually come to, Adam. And like we discussed last time, something's coming, something very serious. And you do an awesome job. God has obviously put you in that place to warn people. And I just don't think people. This should be a wake up call to some of the Foogle fam to show them what a precarious place this nation really is at right now. My son Boo wanted to talk about something too. That go ahead.
Hey, so I just wanted to bring up. I heard a deal about how roundabouts now, if they bring in the UN, will be at checkpoints. And if you notice, all roundabouts are at major crossroad or entrances into the city.
Yeah, we've just started getting them here in Montana, and it's at like the main, the main thoroughfares of the city,
or entry points of the city.
Right.
I'm trying to think of like my cities here, and are you talking about the circles where you kind of have to go? I mean, the
right. You have to slow down and go around. See, that way you can't just blow through it.
And one other thing too, in the center of them, they always put. It's kind of like a big tank. I think they put them in there supposedly to hold water, but it could be very easily made into a bunker.
Yeah.
So here's the one thing that I, as far as that goes, right? The how they bought all the bulletproof glass and then the foldable checkpoints. They're basically like pre-manufactured checkpoints. They're walls with plexiglass. How they're described in the order, in how much money they spent. This was the same time that Homeland Security picked up all those bullets. Homeland Security picked up. Get this. Do you guys remember this? They picked up enough bullets. It was like 1.7 billion bullets or whatever. It was enough bullets that basically they used less bullets in 20 years of conflict in the Middle East wars. So they bought more than that, what you would use during a 20-year war, in just one foul purchase. For what? That's what really freaks me out, and I think a lot of people are kind of freaked out about that. Most people, when you talk about that, they go, "Oh, he's a nutto. He's a tinfoil hat." If you see what we've been reading over the last few years, you guys get it. I guess Roy Jr., Roy Sr.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I totally understand that. Absolutely. And I think this document should open a lot of people's eyes. Man, I almost forgot about that. The same son, after he got out of the Army, he was required to do 3 years in the Army National Guard. And they had a huge training exercise, and this was in 2015. They brought the ones from Montana, and they had them go to Idaho. And they gave everyone all of the people there, they handed each one of them a survey that asked them if they would obey orders from a superior officer to U.S. citizens, and would they be willing to confiscate weapons? And he said his platoon absolutely refused to do it. But I mean, this is the place where we're at. I'd like to one more thing.
What he's saying though is completely 100% true about the survey that says if you were ordered to take, there was the one that we heard about and directly from soldiers. There was tests though. Some people say that there were tests all the way back to prior days. That it was a test to basically ask you if you were asked to take weapons away from Americans, would you comply or would you resist that order? And a lot of people didn't do it. So that's where a lot of the people I've heard that say, oh, no, we'll be fine if something like that happens because our guys won't follow those orders. Did you ever hear about the results of those surveys? Like how many people said yes?
He said
he
that
refused.
90% of his, just period refused. I don't know. I do know I talked to a soldier out here who was real young, like 18, and he's like, yeah, if I was ordered to, sure I would. You know, that's why, remember, they had that cleansing of flag officers and high-ranking officers under the past administration to get.
I remember that he fired a bunch of generals, right?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Everybody underneath.
Right. Yeah. Like. Right. Just like in Benghazi, that was the first time that a captain of a aircraft carrier was actually, detained by his second in command because he was going to buck orders and send air support for the embassy over there in Benghazi. Same thing with the other guy. And so it's so scary at how fast our rights are being torn away bit by bit, just like what's going on in Virginia. I mean, that should scare everybody right now.
I don't think most people realize how serious it is. It's literally like peeing on our Constitution.
Exactly. Tearing it apart bit by bit. And people have been very restrained, but there's going to come a point when, I guess last week, the general of the Virginia National Guard actually refused because the governor had said, well, we'll have the National Guard go door to door and do confiscations. Well, the general came out last week and said, no, that's unconstitutional. We won't do it. So then he doubled down and said, well, we'll just have checkpoints where we'll pull people over and, oh, Mr. Smith, we see that you didn't turn in a gun that you bought back in blah, 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 and they'll arrest him right there. And he actually asked that $250,000 be added onto their budget for incarceration of gun owners. And you talked about, I think a few days ago, about the United Nations actually advertising for disarmament and demobilization officers, which is true.
In New York.
So that's his choice, is to bring those guys in.
And that's where they're training, and then they can bring it in. And if you realize, there's been several places in the United States that the UN has actually taken over several buildings, and people have gotten video of this, and now it's leaked out that they have actually, that is no longer the United States. When they take over a building, it is international ground. It is not part of the United States for the time that they take it over. It's, what do they call it?
Like our embassies.
Yeah, exactly.
Like our embassies are sovereign soil, so when they do something like that, it becomes their sovereign soil, I guess. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. Like the U.S. Embassy is U.S. What they just did in Baghdad, if you send a rocket at that, that's sending a rocket at us, not at Baghdad. That's literally our soil in Baghdad. Same with their embassy over here.
Correct.
Again, that's why you have a safe
Correct.
place. Like that's why, what's his face? Gosh. WikiLeaks, Assange, he was able to go into those embassies. He was protected essentially by those embassies for a while there, because they were separate from that country. So anyways, we went over time, but there's two of you, so I gave you and Roy Jr. 5 minutes. Thank you guys for calling in.
Could I just say one more thing, please?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Always give you a chance to. Is there one more thing you want to say before you go?
Thank you. Yes, sir. And then Boo wants to say one quick thing. The Declaration of Independence, I'd just like to read a couple of lines. It says, but when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably to the same object evinces, a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and provide new guards for their future security.
And one other thing, for all you World War II guys who are really interested in it, if you look at the blueprints, how this document is set, it's almost identical to the concentration camps in Germany. And just remember, everybody said that couldn't happen in Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, people don't know the history. If they look,
they
said it was absolutely impossible for that. They said, no, that would never happen. It happened.
I have talked to, that's true. I have talked to several people that are very high in banking, and only one said, yeah, I think you're right about the economy. The other three, the only answer they could give me is, that can't happen here. And I'd say, why? Because this is the United States. That was their only reasoning. Same thing the Jews said in Germany.
And there were a lot of very wealthy people there too. No, great point. Absolutely. I don't think people know they were the elites in those countries.
That's true.
Yeah.
They said we're too wealthy. It won't happen to us.
And all of their gold, all of their diamonds, all of their jewels, everything got taken. So thank you so much for calling in, Roy and Roy Jr. Roy Sr. and Roy Jr. You have a blessed night, okay?
Thank you. You have a good night too, brother, man.
All right.
Bye.
You too. Hopefully they don't get me knocked. If you see a laser right here, let me know, please. Like, really quick. That document is gigantic, by the way. Really quite amazing. If you look at this document right here, it's called the U.S. Army Internment Resettlement PDF. So, now it has been leaked out to the public. So, what is that? Dex, do you know what that is called? Freedom of press? Like, if this is something that's already been released, then we can't exactly get in trouble for it, right?
Yeah, I found that. So I think we're covered. Somebody else put it out there.
Okay.
We're linking from there. So we're
okay. Because freedom of press allows us to do different things. We are careful about that kind of thing. We would always send you to the link, but again, this kind of stuff can get you in trouble. Luckily, this is out and is available out there. That doesn't take anything away from it too. This is the kind of stuff we have been finding more and more, and people are sending us more and more. This is why I love doing this show, because we never know what people are going to send in. As far as resettlement, this kind of thing, do you guys remember just a couple weeks ago, if you didn't watch my show, a woman called in and said, why are these ads for job placements in New York? It was the UN looking for disarmament and relocation specialists, or whatever it was called, immobilization. It was just creepy. And it's legit. It is 100% real. It is on LinkedIn. It is on other ones. It's like they are seriously looking for people with very special conditions there. All right. Let's get Snafu Snap, or I'm sorry, David. David is on now, right? Perfect.
Yeah, that's correct. David is transferred to you.
David, you are live on Marfoogle TV. And then, of course, I've got your card pulled up here. It looks like you are calling about Russian ship and destroyer conflict. What's up with that?
Was watching on news today how someone caught, I want to say hello to the fam and how are you doing such a great job, and how you connect with so many people. And some things that blow your mind also blow my mind. Dex was nice enough to help me find another video that after we talk about after the ship that I seen that I seen on news, an American ship cut off an American ship cut off in front of a Russian ship today or maybe yesterday, and tried causing a conflict with us. And then I'm thinking this is why they're also doing more what do they call drills? Putin's doing more drills.
That was a very aggressive. In fact, did you see my thumbnail yesterday? Was aggro, and it was actually a picture from that. Actually, if you go to the website, just to show you or to show the audience what we're talking about.
I got a little mixed up with that. It was it kind of mixed.
Oh no, you're. I think you're right. But anyways, so you've got a couple of things here that you wanted to talk about too. So you think that the Russians are drilling because of that?
Yes, that's one of the big reasons. Yes, I think that would almost cause a big conflict there.
And then, of course, you have some other things that you included on here, including
Yes,
the robot.
I found on another site. Dex helped me find it. It happened a little while back, and it's something that will blow your mind. That the airplanes that shoot out that funky stuff farted out a globe, and a lot of his videos show them that there's always a white globe coming out, farting, exploding over neighborhoods, populated neighborhoods, and it shows everything. If Dex could pull it up.
Okay, so I do have the video. This is Crow 777.
It's 10 minutes 12 seconds in but you're going to enjoy the whole the Marfoogle fam is going to enjoy watching the video.
I can't watch. I can't just put on somebody else's video. That's kind of part of the reason we're here in the first place. So, but we can tell them where to go. We can show a screenshot, and we can do some commentary here.
And then it actually shows it exploding and metal piece of metal. I know.
So it's pretty nuts then.
I'm hearing you.
Okay,
yeah,
listen to me on the phone, not on the. Turn your TV down, sir.
Watch it after. Okay, when you do watch it after the show, it's going to blow your mind. You're going to find some way of getting it online.
So one thing I wanted to say though too, sir, is you said 10 minutes and something seconds. This video that we got is 6 minutes and 11 seconds. So we might have the wrong video. So I just want to
maybe
confirm.
they cut it down. So maybe they cut it down. It's the one maybe right before that where it's. But both of his videos do show the globe. I mean the fart coming out of the plane and exploding.
Okay, all right. Well, David, what we can do is we can. I want to watch it. I really wish I could.
It's that one right. It's the one that says I don't know if I could say CHEM.
Yeah. We're all on the same page. Everybody gets you.
If the whole family could watch that video, they could see what they're doing in the skies. And the last couple of weeks, me and my family's respiratory, we've been having problems breathing. I live in South Florida, and they are painting the skies like crazy here the last two weeks.
Well, David, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send as many people over to Crow 7777. And if you guys see, the cool thing is like if I knew Crow and I talked to him, I could be like, "Hey, Crow, can I show your videos from time to time?" And then if he gives me permission, then I can play it.
Your audience will and yourself will blow your mind how many he caught coming out of every plane that's.
I think I have
a populated neighborhood.
I think I have a way to get a hold of him though too. He was just on.
It will blow your mind.
David, you gotta turn down your TV, man. You gotta listen to the phone.
Okay.
Every time I talk, you're actually responding to the TV me. But Crow 777 was actually just on Red Pill 78, and I've talked to Red Pill 78 quite a bit lately, so I can actually try to reach out to him. And again, the more YouTubers that you guys go over and support and say, "Hey, Marf sent us, much love from Marf." Obviously, if he watches this, he'll see we gave him the respect that everybody expects here. Don't show somebody else's video unless you have permission. But then again, go over there, and then in the future, maybe tomorrow night, we can show it or something, or the next show. I mean. So, David,
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I won't take up too much of your time.
That's okay. I wanted to get the rest of your stuff.
I want to tell.
Don't leave yet. It's okay, David.
Okay.
What is the Toyota humanoid?
The Toyota came out. They had mentioned a couple of days ago, and finally, I believe today was the day that they came out with a AI humanoid. Probably for what you were saying before, that's going into that town they're building. But it's totally if I didn't see it on news, I seen it on online somewhere, and it was in a live. It looked that the brain looked like a fog, and it looked incredible. And they were saying it was coming out, and it finally came out today.
That's so cool. Now, well, cool to a point. I think this stuff is all.
I don't know where to find it.
Futuristic.
I couldn't catch it in time. Where to find it, but it was crazy. An AI with its own brain, and it looks like electricity. That's they opened it up, and it looked like a fog of electricity.
Well, so David, I've got it up here. We'll link this article. It tells about the Toyota Motor Corps has unveiled an upgraded version of its human-shaped THR-3 robot. The robot, which is controlled remotely by a person.
And it's active.
It's creepy.
It is totally active. Yes. Creepy.
Yeah, wearing a headset.
And if you could get that crow to allow you to show that, it will open people's eyes, and it will show what people have been saying for years. It's caught right there in action, exploding over a populated area.
Okay,
and
well,
thank you for your time.
We
and
got
you're doing
it.
a great job, and I felt something New Year's when you were going on New Year's, that I felt something in my stomach that somebody was going to talk out of control that night, and I'm not going to say his name. It's an ML, and he got you. I feel bad. Do whatever you can to stay on for your family, for us, your family, your two families, and thank you, Dex. And if anybody has anything that they need help with, Dex will help you. If you're holding any good things to say to the fam, Dex sat there and helped me, guide me through to find that video. That hopefully that Adam can show it in the future.
Okay. Well, either way, everybody has the access to it. They can go to our website. David, I really appreciate you calling in, and I would like to talk to you in the future too. So please call in again, okay?
Have a great night, everybody.
All right. Much respect to you, and much love, and I'm praying for you. Have a good day. Let's see here. Okay. Now we have Snafu Snaps. The thing is, I think Crow is. I think he's, by what I've seen of him, he's a cool guy. He was just on Red Pill 78. Did a interview with him, so maybe I can reach out and get that. But again, once we make a connection, I talk to a lot of YouTubers. Then once that connection's there, then you can actually kind of like play each other's stuff, and then it opens up. The more people we know, the more videos we can play without worrying about getting in trouble or some stuff.
Adam.
Yes.
I covered the Toyota humanoid in my last video over on DexJ, so
okay,
I'm about halfway through somewhere. But you don't need to show it, but just let people know if they want to see that. There's some detailed coverage there.
Oh, no worries. I'll pull up. I'll show you guys. DexJ's channel is over here. Co-host. He has his own channel. You can go right here and check out the Toyota humanoid. In fact, tonight we could get him to over 5,000 subscribers. Okay, and then we've got Snafu Snaps online, and you are live.
How's it going, Marfoogle? Hope you're feeling much better today, and how's it going, fam?
Oh, it's pretty crazy. Were you in the chat last night?
Yeah.
I was chatting.
I felt bad for you, dude.
Well, I just feel stupid. I like probably the last... I don't know. I don't know if anybody has ever also done this, where you go to the ER and they're like, yeah, it's something simple, or it's constipation, or it's this. And it was like, I spent, a good 5-6 hours.
Yep.
And then they're like, well, you have food poisoning if it doesn't get better. And then by about 7 a.m., I literally could not sleep almost at all. It was
you're worn down, man. After something like that, you're worn down, man. I'm just glad you're feeling better, brother. I am, man. And don't worry about leaving chat or anything. We're just glad you're feeling up and good right now to even do a show tonight.
Well,
Great show.
I don't know if you saw last night. I couldn't sit straight. And then I realized, looking back, watching the own thing, there's a point where I tried to switch screens, and then I was like doubled over. I don't think anybody caught that.
Hey, you're a trooper, man. You're a trooper. I remember that one day when you're baking like a little potato, man, and you're getting through it, man. So you always do it up for us, man. So you're a trooper. But I'm just glad you're feeling better, brother.
Well, so what's going on, Snaps? What do you got for us?
So this is family members and patriots, and actually so many people are talking about this. It's just hot talk. It's just, and it's really funny. It's almost so funny, it's laughable, but it's so dangerous. And it's funny because I actually called Owen Schroyer a couple days ago on his show, and I got his opinion, and so now I'm calling you and getting your opinion. This new bill, we got like Australia where fires are burning. We're at extinct levels event going on right now with billions of animals, and then everything political, and of course all the stuff you cover with the movements. We got the optics of this bill right now, where our tax dollars, everything goes into S212, and I know a couple of the family members reported on it. I know the guys over at War Room, they knew about it. It's telling everyone, they introduced it to the state Senate and saying that no one under the age of 21 could have a cell phone. And could you believe that, man? I mean, they'll send our boys out to war, ever since centuries, World War One, or excuse me, I forget you're on D-Live, but you always upload it. But,
wow.
From the big wars all the way up, our boys, our generations are the one who, this country was built on. And this is just New World Order optics, minus Hulk Hogan. I always say New World Order. And I know all kinds of patriots are talking about this, all kinds of family members. And Owen gave me his thoughts on it. And so I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on it.
Well, so
they did.
By the way, I heard you were going to be on that show, and then I tried to watch, and this was like 2 days ago or a day ago, yesterday.
Yeah, it was just the other day, man. I called him
I know
up,
that
and
Dex was trying to record it for you. But let me tell you this about this.
I got the footage.
So let me tell you.
And that's why I wanted to see what your thoughts.
Let's talk at the same time.
Sorry.
Okay. Are we good?
Yeah, we good, man.
Sorry. So I'm worried we have a delay here. That's probably what happens. We've had one before where every call was a little bit off. Snaps. Let's see here.
Yeah.
You know what this is? This is taking away power from parents having phones. I have a pretty strong thing about this, and this is why I ended up donating before I was a YouTuber to Chris Green's documentary that he actually asked people to pay for. And he was doing a documentary about social media or phones, right? Kids having phones and all that. I actually donated towards his thing, and he never put out one. See, I'm doing a documentary. People compared me, but mine's free, and I am putting my hard work in it, and nobody else is paying for it. I never saw that documentary come out, by the way. Anyways, and it takes years to make something what I'm making. But again, that was supposed to come out last year. Anyways, this.
Well, I'm excited to see yours, man.
I feel powerless though. The cell phones have literally taken away power as a community, as a culture, and as a planet. All these kids have cell phones at 3rd grade, 5th grade, 7th grade, and literally they are accessing all this stuff that 30 years ago they never accessed. It is dangerous. They're getting into things you don't even know what they're getting into. So my thoughts on this are disgusting.
Right.
I think this is a great idea.
You're absolutely right. Well, do you think the age of 21 though? I mean, I agree. There's a limit of what age. Like, let me ask you this: How old were you when you got your first cell phone? How old were you when you received your first cell phone?
I'm 25, or I don't know. I had a pager when I was 13, but I didn't have a cell phone until I was like off on my own. Okay. But I think 16, maybe 15 or 16.
Oh. Okay, yeah, and that's exactly what Owen and them were saying, on their show. No, I just wanted to get your thoughts on it because it's a great topic, and I know some fam covered it, and it's a great thing, and it's just we have so much. I mean, we have an extinct level event going on in Australia right now. Billions and billions of animals.
I know.
Affected. And I just did a report on that, and I'm just telling you, there's so much crazy stuff going on. I never thought I'd see an extinct level event occur. And then we got these optics of these bills being pushed. Like, it's just gnarly, man. And thank you for giving me your opinion, man.
Well, what do you think? What do you think, Snaps? What do you think the age should be?
I think, I kind of say the same thing as all of you guys. I got my phone around 15, 16, da, da, da. And I mean, here's the thing is, how would people call 911 if they had a car wreck? How, like 16, 17, 18-year-olds who are driving? I think maybe they should restrict the phones, or with the technology we have, with the bomb phones, they don't even have internet type stuff on it. Maybe they should make it legal for them to have a certain kind of phone that has restrictions, period, and I'm totally uncensored, but there's certain ways around. This is just a touchy subject, man. I don't know. I think 15, 16, when at least when you're out on your own for safety measures.
Well, the argument, I guess, is that once they're old enough to be going off on their own, taking the bus, that kind of thing, now it's handy to have their phones. But and I bet you there's people here that have their third graders with phones for emergency purposes. But mind you, there are cell phone companies that only do mom, only do dad, and only do 911. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. No, honestly, it really trips me out when I see these young kids. Honestly, anyone under the age of 13, 15, actually 13 is even too young. Like a kid, I don't think should have a phone. But if they're out and about and they're walking or riding a bike or going to a friend's house and they're at that age where they're out and about by themselves, I believe having a communication to at least some kind of emergency
but the internet,
sort of this or that.
That's what I don't get.
Yeah, I know.
Unfiltered internet. These parents let just anything and everything. There's no restrictions on the internet for kids. And they are getting into the dirtiest, craziest things, the things that my 13-year-old knows, and I'm like, I don't understand it. I'm like, I don't understand how we, as a people, it just kind of got to the point where everybody has a cell phone. It's something that everybody has the internet. I get it, but now you've taken away the ability for parents to kind of hold something over their kids and be able to shape them and teach them. Instead, the internet is shaping our kids. That's why every time there's a trend, our kids are shaped by it. It's not parents that are shaping our kids. It's just crazy.
I just don't understand why that they couldn't restrict, if they're going to put a law into effect like this, why they couldn't restrict the phones that have internet. Because how you could buy a cheap flip phone that doesn't even have internet. It's just phone capabilities, period. There's no internet to it.
Yeah, phone and text is cool.
Now
internet.
That we have Apples.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But I don't know. I just thank you for your opinion, man, because I think this is a topic that should be discussed. It's dealing with communication. Whether it's children or not, communication is key in the time we live in. So I appreciate it.
How's your channel doing? Let's pull yours up. So let's see.
Oh my gosh. Well, if you want to go look, I have a challenge for you. You just watched the first video up there. Bones participated, and me and Bones had a great time. The family had a fun time, and if you ever feel up to it, man, I'll meet you at the table for a Snafu Crew Cup Wars.
I saw that you guys, people were quoting your video last night, saying that Bones was so funny on your show last night. So you guys.
Well, I started a new series, I think. We have to have some fun. We talk about the craziness, this and that, and you're a motto. You're such a great motto for being serious but having great fun. And so last night I came up with a new show pilot idea for a game to interact with the audience. And again, it's just fun, man. We shouted out channels, we read comments, we pushed people up, and then me and Bones had some things that we didn't want to do, but we did it, as long as the audience chose our fate.
Oh my gosh, you look so crazy with white on your face, and it looks like it's sped up or something. And then look, JStone78 says Snafu Crew.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
Actually produced that remake.
Oh my gosh,
yeah, it's awesome.
And then look, Bones.
Wait, did you see Bones get?
No, he's doing it right now.
Oh man, he got the water too. He got drowned in part of the game.
Oh my gosh, look, is he gonna do the powder? Oh my gosh,
he get watered, man. He drowned for a minute.
That's fun. I gotta watch this. What is the egg? Oh my gosh.
The egg will come up real soon. It was a fun time, man, and it's all because of you, man. It's the Foogle fam, the Snafu Crew, we the people around the world. It's because of you that why we could get together and have fun and talk about the serious stuff too.
And you got to know what it feels like to have white privilege.
Yes, I did actually. And actually, it's funny. We got so many jokes, man. I think Petra said, "Oh, you look like a mime. You look like this." It was good, man. But watch this, where he's about to hit that egg. I didn't think he was gonna do it. He did. But again, I'll challenge you, my man. I think we got a few people who want to get down on the cup wars.
I'm down to have some fun. All right, man. Well, thank you for calling in, Snaps. You guys should go check them out. Let's see here. It's SNAFU Snaps. Snafu Snaps. It's right there. You guys will have the link. The link will be on our website. All right. Have a nice night, brother.
All right. Take care, brother. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one. All right. And then let's see here.
Hey, Adam.
Yeah.
I have a quick opinion on the cell phone topic. I was stewing the whole time listening to you guys.
That subject is one that I'm like pretty adamant about. What's going on?
I have no desire whatsoever for the government to parent our children. So I think it should be up to the parents to manage the cell phone at whatever age the parents feel it should be. And I think the parents need to take responsibility for it, and they should use the tools that are given to them. The cell phones, especially on the iPhone, and that's what I use, but I don't know what, I'm sure it has something very similar on the Android. You can actually control what your kids can and can't do. You just have to invest the time, because it should be important to you as a parent to do that. So I think having the government step in and do laws like this, where the parents should actually take the responsibility, not even take the responsibility, but make the decision. If they want their children to have them young, that's their choice. And if they want them to have them at 21 or 18, that's their choice.
But you realize that they have made it so the parent can be arrested for taking. There was that case where the 12-year-old girl, the dad took away the cell phone. She wasn't going to school. She ended up saying like, "Oh, he stole my cell phone, which he bought. It was his property, whatever." He took the phone away because she wasn't doing good at school. And then they ended up arresting the dad. So then
I think that's wrong too.
They ended up coming back to that case, and then he said what happened. And then finally a judge actually sat her down and straight up said, "You're not going to have a phone until you're blah, blah, blah. Your dad." It was a complicated issue, but now kids are now, it's like legal in some states to take a kid's cell phone away if they've had one. And I think that's crazy. I think that's absolutely nuts.
In 1999, I helped develop parental control software for the internet. Parents could have that type of control over their children and be able to manage what they could see. So that was 1999. This is 2020. So we need to do.
Okay.
Parents need to take control.
Well, right? And again, it's harder when it's a teenager, though. Me and you have talked about how you've had to turn off your internet and turn off a phone from, remotely.
It's a great parenting tool. Yeah, being able to log in and shut off the phone remotely and just great. It's a great version of timeout for a 17-year-old who's not doing what they're supposed to do.
Oh, and it works.
Right.
It works right away.
It works.
I told you we did it with a 13-year-old.
17-year-old or put them in the corner, right? It's not the same that you would do with a 6-year-old where you could put them in timeout and they're going to realize that they don't want to be there anymore and they're going to do the right thing. When they're 17, you turn the phone off and boom, they want to do what they're supposed to do.
Oh, if you turn off the Wi-Fi, they're doing push-ups, they're cleaning gutters, doesn't matter what,
Exactly. It's a wonderful tool for a
I
parent.
walked in the upstairs bathroom that's connected to my daughter's room. It was spotless, and I'm like, whoa, what happened? Well, I was bored, and I don't have a phone, and I cleaned, and I got under the toilet, and I got around and cleaned. I was like, holy crap. Yeah. She was productive.
All right. Well, I had an opinion on one.
No, that's fine. I get it. Well, and I'm not for government stepping in, but I am in general. I'm kind of mad at the world for the cell phones. We didn't think about it as a culture. Other cultures aren't like that.
I totally agree where we've gone with
third grade
media and with the not just the phones, but what they're doing on the phones, like the games and the desensitization of of all these different topics that used to be taboo that you didn't talk about at a young age until you got a little older and you're mature enough to deal with them, and all that to our children at a much younger age, and it shouldn't be, I think. So these are all things that as parents, I think we have to really step up and push back against society and do what's right for ourselves, and not necessarily give in to, what Hollywood wants us to do or what the people in charge want us to do with our children.
So that's awesome, Dex. That was Final Thoughts by Dex. Dex, love you, man.
All right, I got one call coming in. Sorry, buddy. One more coming in.
Cool. Thank you so much.
All right.
And we have Shannon and BOD.
One more coming in.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
BOD, what is going on? You are live on Marfoogle TV.
Hey, Mom, what's going on?
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing well.
Missing you guys.
Yeah.
So, by the way, you guys have another California meetup going on, in-person meetup, and then Team America movie predictive programming. What is this all about?
Oh, my God. I remember the movie Team America by the guys who made South Park with the little marionette puppets.
Oh, yeah.
Look.
America,
Yeah, America.
Yeah, it's definitely not children.
Yeah, and then I didn't realize when I watched it in like 2004 when it came out that it was only about NK and Ryland and Grusha or all getting together to get America. I'm like, what the hell?
And not only that, it's about other Americans turning on patriots as well.
And all the actors like Alec Baldwin were following the.
Oh yeah, Hollywood.
Are you
all
kidding?
on board with that.
Dude,
The
I have
whole
not seen that movie in a
thing
long
is
time. When did that come out? 2004?
Something like that, and I hadn't seen it since then. And I was like, it came on. I was like, oh yeah, I remember this. And I was watching. I'm like, oh my, that's right now.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Really
weird?
freaky.
And those guys, the South Park guys, are they've been doing that kind of stuff for years. Whoops.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been ahead of the curve on that.
Well, who knows? I mean,
Brenda wanted to tell you about.
Go ahead.
B wanted to tell you about something that they're going to be doing at the meetup.
Oh yeah. Overland Rob is going to be doing a training. We're going to do a build your own battery pack for generators, for do it yourself generator. And, you can make it a small one, you can make a bigger one, but he's going to teach you how to make the battery packs properly, so then that way you don't blow yourself up or blow anything else up.
Really?
And and the thing is, because the battery packs are so darn expensive, if you want to say a Tesla wall or something like that, they charge so much, and they use the exact same batteries in some of it. Other ones, they use those other newer flat pack. I don't know quite what they are yet. But yeah, the 18650 batteries, and the thing is, you could pull them out of your laptop. I mean, if you have old laptops laying around or whatever, and the batteries were still good, or even if it was bad, there's 9 out of 10 times, maybe one battery went bad and threw out the whole thing, and you could reuse most of the batteries in there. So that's what we're going to do, is we're going to take some of I used to work on laptops, so I have a lot of...
No, she wasn't a dancer.
What? That doesn't make any sense. Okay.
She's like, what?
Okay, anyways, so we're going to take some of the old batteries down there, and we're going to teach them how to pull the batteries out and how to, drain them and recharge them and then put them together, to be able to use for a, do-it-yourself, get an inverter and I think it's called a BMS.
Oh, and a shout out to Angelica. I can't remember. Angelica, who's also doing groups out here. She's doing a fantastic job.
And she does it on the other side of more towards the
beach area.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Angelica.
I don't know. She has it
Angelica.
like every week.
Yeah, she's really doing well out there too. So shout out to her.
I believe I've met her though too. She went to one of yours, right?
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, so can you guys?
And if you're ever having problems with your dog, let me know. That's what I do.
Well, so
yeah,
trainer, groomer, animal behavioral specialist.
Oh, so we need to talk off camera because I think you probably heard. Yeah. My dog is going into diapers and all sorts of stuff. So anyways, let's keep that off air. And then what was I going to say? And oh gosh. Oh, so will you tell these guys what I do on my days off as far as the meetings go?
Oh, he likes to lounge around, do video conferences wearing tangerine Speedo, was it, last time? you called it the banana hammock or something like? No, I'm just kidding. No, he spends all day on his days off just talking to each and every individual who goes to the groups that we put together. He talks to each and every person personally. I guess that's what you would do if it was each person. And I don't know when you have time to do anything, even spend time with little Vi or anything. That's just
like 2 hours with us on the phone last.
You need to clone yourself.
Yeah, there's not enough for you to go and get around. I even know we've been watching both on DLive and on YouTube because we like the fact that you're on chat now. But the point is, it's like I get so it has a lot of what is it called, huh? When it's bogs down when the
it's been bogging down.
Oh yeah, I call it bogging down. It's
buffering
and then it's like I can't hear everything you're saying. It's like no.
I was wondering the other day if you were going to mention yourself in the shout out and then give yourself a shout out for being the last one in the chat room.
I know I was literally the last one out. So
yeah, I saw that the other day. Oh, cool.
Well, but, tonight I will definitely I will do a shoutro for Adam, aka Marf.
Excellent, he deserves it.
Yes. Right. So, anyways, we are going to have the meetup, and I'm trying to get it together to where I can have a little what is it called, a canopy up with walls, because there's some of us that are a little older, and it gets a little cold because it's kind of high up on a hill. And so I'm trying to get a canopy. We have a canopy, but I'm trying to get some walls to put around it.
Yeah, I'm going to wear a jacket, so I'll be okay.
So it won't be so cool for some of us that are not so, where it hurts our bones a little much.
We're going to put us up a circus tent right there in the park.
Oh, and then, in the next couple of meetups, we're actually going to do a what is it called, son?
Like a fake, not fake, but simulation, like something hit the fan, and we're all gonna have between a certain time that our phones are gonna go off, and then we have to get to where to the meetup place where we're gonna have the meetup and set up our stuff.
And like to do a setup of the tent and stuff like that too. And this is like just grab your bag and go. So then that way you could go over the list and see what you're missing or what you should have had. Because what if you can't make it to your final destination of your bug out place? What if you have to stop in between and camp out for a couple of days because weather's too bad for you to travel? We're trying to think of, different scenarios that might come up to keep you from making it to your destination.
Or if you have 2 temporary shelters and you're just 2 tents.
Gosh. So, hey, I'm going to pull up the address, you guys.
Yeah, I know. We have eyes are rolling.
Yeah, Dex, give me the womp womp.
Eye rolling.
So, we're thinking of trying to think of different scenarios that we could really figure out. And because you mentioned it one day when you got out of your house, I think it took you so many minutes to get out of there, but you're like, how can I do it better? And what could I have done better?
And you thought you'd done really well until you looked down and saw you weren't wearing your pants.
So, it got me thinking, well, you know what? What if you couldn't make it to his bug out area, which is a beautiful house, by the way.
You've been there?
Gorgeous. No, I've seen the video.
Oh.
It's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous house. And the whole area is beautiful.
Yeah, we have a bug out spot. We have a 3-story cabin that was hand built.
Yeah, I know. I've seen it.
But
I've seen it.
If we can get there, that's why I said we're gonna get scooters and stuff. So let me get the address out here so people
I've got
can
a bunch
go.
Of them when you come down, I'll give you one.
Okay. Yeah.
I've got like 4 of them.
I only need 2 of them. By the way, I just need 2 of them. So this is Galster.
You can rent the bird ones and just keep them.
So, Shannon, we gotta get the address out of here. Otherwise, we're gonna lose people quick here. Galster Wilderness Park, 1620 East Aroma Drive. East Aroma Drive.
Yeah.
What a smelly.
And it does smell funny.
West Covina, California.
There used to be a dump right behind it, actually.
All right,
There used to be a dump right behind it.
Let's get the address out. Don't tell people that. People won't show up. Gosh. Galster Wilderness Park. Now it smells like fairies.
There's $1 million homes up there.
Okay, let me get the address
in that area,
out.
there's $1 million homes.
Galster.
Yeah, and the last.
Can I get the address out, guys?
The address out.
Okay, we have hard of vision here. We have listeners. Galster Wilderness Park, 1620 East Aroma Drive, West Covina, California.
Correct.
So again, that's Galster Wilderness Park, 1620 East Aroma Drive, West Covina, California. This is one of the most important things about this show. Get there and meet in person and talk about prep. This is really what I see as the purpose of this entire channel. So this is more important than the news. It's more important than anything. So California people, you're going to have serious stuff go down. So please get friends locally that can back you up. Trust me on that. We have plenty of military in this group, and they all absolutely know the West Coast is like guaranteed. So please check that out.
Yeah. Yeah, and if anybody that's going to be attending, if they have any skills or whatever that they want to bring to the table and teach too, we could do other trainings as well, and we're thinking about maybe videotaping them, so that way we could share them amongst the Discord. So
that sounds awesome. You guys are awesome.
Hello?
You're two of my favorite people in California, and again, I will take you up on that couch when I get down there. Okay?
Yeah. Just let us know when. We'll need about 3 weeks to clean.
Okay, maybe on the floor. Actually, do you have a garage or a driveway?
Oh no.
Yeah,
My car. I'll clean my car. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, no, we plan on getting you either a room.
No, we'll clean.
Don't worry about it. You guys have already offered. That's fine. When I come down to California, I'm gonna have the whole fam. So we're gonna go to Disneyland or something like that before it's destroyed and
Ooh.
yeah.
Oh, we got some stuff to tell you about that.
Yeah, we know all kinds of stuff about that place, boy.
Well,
Yeah,
Goofy,
that's
you guys
it.
have a great night, okay?
All right,
Okay, we love you.
All right.
Tell the wifey we said we love her too.
I will. She might be in the chat tonight if we get over there early enough.
Okay.
All right.
Love you, Fugle fam. Love you guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Another reason we try to stick to a schedule is so we can get over to YouTube early enough for the normal people to watch, because we used to do shows around 7 to 8 on YouTube Eastern time. That's like 11. Right now it is 10:30, so it's already past 1:30. So that's why we try to get try to stick to the schedule on the show. So thank you guys for watching. Here now it is officially time for, well, it's not an outro and it's not a shout out. It's a shoutro. It's where I make a complete fool out of myself and say every single name in the chat. And some that aren't in there that will be in there. So we'll see how that works. Thank you guys. It is now time for me to do my songs for my favorite people and sing a song of satisfaction or dissatisfaction to the world. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful night. Much love. Be safe. Be prepared. And Marf out.
Honey, baby, I just want to you. Shannon and B.O.D.O. Now we know exactly what we do. Got the control of the lead. Hey, you. I just wanna go fly. year 11 and snap for logic, sweet rams and their cautious. About to bring it, about to go back with the singing, and I go, Mr. Teachy. That's got to bring it down now. Got to bring it down to somebody. Hey, just Wiley gonna go down now and the inch of 19. Jade X on me, I've got to bring it down now. We've got the Brenda giving us in the cafe. We've got the Oliver Twist and the K Cafe. The Bobcat T and X and the East K. We've got the Trish Wiley and the Spud Rocket. Osiris O'Brien, thank you for being here. Remember, you can go to marfooglenews.com for all of the information that we have here. All of the articles, all of the tweets. You can go and check them out for themselves. We're going to be busting up in the D-Live chest, and if you're on YouTube, I'm about to show respect to all the super chats from last night because I do appreciate your support, and I thank you. If you are watching YouTube, I am in the chat next to you, so if you have questions, ask them in all caps. Thank you. Tony 60, I won't forget about you. Dakota Dad and Loki Lukey, I won't forget about you. Rare Gem, Dex J, Heather Daniel, Steve 84G, 6 Rar, This Guy a 1, Spud Ruckus, and Summer E. Thank you so much for being here. You gotta know. I say you gotta go, you got to know, you got to freestyle off the speckle freckles. Angels going down and you gotta see while we're frowning under GZP. Got the Rusty Bumper and the Lady Lexia. We've got to make me. We've got to say, hey.
Oh, you know that we be walking down the street with the Christie Kane and the Rev 86 and got a life of live life and the May gotta say hey I down the street underneath the light and the dawn within the spots and the right and someone's got to know that someone stole my name like Keeper 777 wanna bring anything but this name on name. Thank you for the top D-Live contributors: Chris Broderick, Cosmic Craft, Reed55, Aunt Jenny, Chandra Lee, Search and Rescue, Ilea, Emma Mensching, and Cherry Boo 65. Thank you so much for your support. Remember, you can get love just by chatting here. This song is dedicated to May May. If I could walk down that road, if I could see the way they go, they don't want me to find that you won't be there for me. I just tell you why. Oh, we've got that May. What do you say? Oh, 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 oh. Unfortunately, we already opened the chest, but it's already getting deeper, and thank you. Oh, Siren Orion, Judy Jude, and Weaverson 77, and Snafu Snaps, Dootsy Bug, and of course, Jimbo in Limbo. Jimmy Meeks, I appreciate you too. You up next, and I thank you all for being part of this crew. Spreckled and Freckles, Rare Gem 1, Carrie Ray, Cindy Claffey, and everyone that has sat here from day one and hang out with me, and thank you, we're not done. But Dragon Gale, Firestorm, and the rest of the G minors gotta bring you maybe a C minor? Just gotta bring it back with the friends that we have. Hey, May, what do you say? We will go and have a great old time, and we bring it all the time. Lonely football got the right. Hey, Scan family, thank you for coming over, hanging with me. I love the way that we've always been such a clicking crew. All you have to do to be a part is be you. That's all that's required, and I hope you never go home. I hope you stay here. I hope you make 3 friends before you go. D with the triple D, that's how. Sign Watcher, Einstein's mom, Habs 89, and the BJ plays ball. Thank you, May, for everything you've done. I appreciate your support. Up next is Jimmy Meeks. And that Capricorn Cake 69. Bad Cat, it's K248. Barefoot Lass, Panhandle Prepper, make sure to check him out. Earthworm Jim, Trinity Red or Blue Pill, Hi-Ho, Kermit the Frog, Kelly Joe, Alish, Cindy Claffey, Betty Sue 1, Display's Name, Dootsy Bug, and Dusty Rhodes 211. Rick Serapper, I appreciate the ones that actually followed me over here. Even my mods, not all of you are here, so that's okay. I just want the way. Thank you, Jimmy Mix, for being you. Thanks for all you do. That's what he said, and I never leave. Never bring you my crew. My crew. It was the time that I went back and I saw Rainbow sitting there with Carrie Ray and Baby Yoda. I don't know. But Lisa Curry, number 42, was saying that I needed to be right, and then she was true. Dandy of Right, and Snafu Snaps, and Rare Germ 1, and J&G. I just appreciate you all being there for me. So thank you. Long blue glow, and I go back. I know that I just want to be like that. And if I really could, I would never go back. I never regret it, doing any of this, cause I love all of you plenty. I just wish I could make this family bigger, if I could. This one is dedicated to Susan Donahue. Thank you for your support last night. I just want to go back down, go back in time. I weigh my options, and I think that there's a lot to do. Got the friends and got the crew. What world news? Cherry Boo 65 and Casper Sparks by my side. Dragon Gale, Firestorm, and that Leaf. Jim and that Betty Sue 1, gonna kill, kick, and fall. Got that softball mom, and the rainbow moonstone. Osiris Orion and True Exposed, Billy Phil and Phil Billy and whatever you call yourself now. Scant Family S and thank you, Gall. I think I said Gall, but that's okay, y'all. Hey Opstick Girl, I like your name, and Hot Wired Barb, I like the game. Rick Serapper and Totally Righteous Bro, and Kelly Joe and the rest of the bros. Because if I could, I would go down the street, I would make everyone a traditional Marfoogle family. I wish I could all have you here. Put on the caps lock, put on that for the questions you wanna ask. Cause I'm right here, right next to you, and I wish we could be friends. Now he's going all Mr. Rogers up on our ass. Just wanna be your friend, I wanna be your baby Yoda. I just wanna need a Taurus to be that 360. Yes, I got to say yes to you, Chris D. Kane. Wanna be that snake, oh Snape, hey, Burby. LB rules and I follow, and the rest of the crew. We've got that Laura M, Rebecca W, and Richard K, Patricia S, and Christy R, and Nicole Reed D. Hanging out with Rosalie. Thank you all for supporting. Now I'm going to go over some names. Thank you for supporting via PayPal. We never had one. Because I just don't like having them. But if you guys knew where we were headed with this, you would understand. We are building on in love, coming back from above. The Laura brought back on real sharp, pushing short and crazy. Correctly and brutally, Allison and Sheila B, and Dawn H and Jessica B, Michelle C and Amy A. Laurie F and Paige H, Winifred. Gonna be afraid and I'm gonna get them gems. Hey, you'll never know exactly where my spice is coming from. And Roberta J, and Priscilla R, the Gayle and Carolyn Dove, and Roseberry B, Malin C, and Jacqueline S, and Barbara Cassandra C. Hey, Judy B, thank you for supporting me, and Ralphie, and Jules J, and Anthony S, and they say, I just gotta say, it's all up to you. Jenna T, and Joshua G, and Parker's T, and Cheryl C. I wish I could go back in time. I wish I could be all I could. Never going anywhere unless God takes me. I could be by your side. I just wish Julia R and Silver L, John K and Mark S could understand how much I say yes. I love these people like they were my true family, and if I could, I would break bread with all of you. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for those of you who stay no matter what. We're going to have brand new music tomorrow, so tune in. And thank you for almost getting me to 6,800 followers over here. That's incredible. Thank you so much. I love you. And thank you. Again, if you follow now, you will get alerts over here on D-Live. Let's get us 5 more people. If you press follow, you will be part of the Follow Talos. No, I'm just kidding. Thought of something funny. Follow Talo. Follow Talo. You know, like the Subscribe Squad. The Boob Tube. Oh yeah. We'll pop the tiny chest. Boom. I wish I could, I wish I would. I would bring my friends. I wish I could see the look on your face. Cue it up, and you bring it right back with American Sister on yours. And the Mandy Fam, and the Deuce Folk Bear, and the rest of you, damn. The Earthworm Jam, and the Jaybird 42 with the pop-up mom. Oh, yeah. It looks like Lone Bear Bowl and the Cherry Boo 65, Nebs 89, and Fugo Fan were the ones that we gave them to. And dang. Papa Bear 59, Dragon Gale Firestorm, Karma is here, and the Sandra Lee, and some other names that I forget. By the way, to my YouTube peeps, I'm going to do something special for everyone that is in YouTube tonight and puts their name in the chat. Even if you normally don't chat, just end up saying, "What's up?" or "What's up, Marf?" or "Hi, Marf?" or "Hey, I'm right here." Thank you so much. Earthworm Jim, make some rotten-ass lemonade with that. Thank you so much. I love you. Peggy Sue Friary, have a great night.
You want to know what's going on? What's really going on when it happens? Go to marfooglenews.com and get Marfoogle alerts along with a Discord invitation where you can find your local state group and get together with the Foogle fam. You'll find fast friends where you'll share prep and intel, and there's even special groups for former and current military. But don't try and steal the valor of those who have really served. It won't go well for you. The Marfoogle fam is waiting for you.